Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived an old man named Eli. Eli was known throughout the village for his unwavering smile and cheerful demeanor. No matter the weather, no matter the hardship, Eli always seemed to find a reason to be happy. The villagers often wondered how he managed to stay so joyful, especially when life seemed so unpredictable. One day, a young boy named Sam, who had recently lost his father and was struggling with sadness, decided to visit Eli. He hoped to uncover the secret to Eli's happiness. When Sam arrived at Eli's cottage, he found the old man tending to his garden. The garden was unlike any Sam had ever seen. It was filled with vibrant flowers, lush vegetables, and fruit trees. But there were also patches of weeds and bare soil. "Eli," Sam asked, "how can you be so happy all the time? Life is so hard, and bad things happen every day. Why aren't you sad like the rest of us?" Eli smiled warmly and gestured for Sam to sit beside him on a wooden bench. "Ah, young Sam," he said, "happiness is not about avoiding sadness or hardship. It's about finding joy even when life feels heavy. Let me show you." Eli pointed to his garden. "Do you see these flowers? They bloom because I water them, care for them, and give them sunlight. But do you see these weeds? They grow without my help, and sometimes they try to choke the flowers. Life is like this garden. There will always be weeds, challenges, losses, and pain. But if you focus only on the weeds, you'll miss the beauty of the flowers." Sam frowned. "But how do you find the flowers when the weeds are everywhere?" Eli chuckled. "You train your eyes to see them. Every day, I wake up and choose to look for the good, even if it's small. A kind word from a neighbor, the sound of birds singing, the taste of fresh bread. These are my flowers, and when I find them, I hold on to them tightly. Over time, I've learned that even in the hardest moments, there's always something to be grateful for." Sam thought about this for a moment. But what about the times when everything feels dark? When there are no flowers at all? Eli nodded. "Ah, those times are the hardest. But even in the darkest moments, you can plant your own flowers. You can choose to be kind, to help others, or to create something beautiful. You see, happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create, even when life feels barren." Sam looked around the garden again, this time noticing how the flowers seemed to shine even brighter against the patches of weeds. He realized that Eli's happiness wasn't about ignoring the pain or pretending everything was perfect. It was about choosing to focus on the good, even when the bad was all around. From that day on, Sam began to practice what Eli had taught him. Whenever he felt sad, he would look for the flowers in his life, a kind gesture, a beautiful sunset, or even the memory of his father's laughter. Over time, he found that the more he looked for joy, the more it seemed to grow, just like the flowers in Eli's garden. Years later, when Sam had grown into a man, he became known in the village for his own radiant smile and positive spirit. When people asked him how he stayed so happy, he would simply say, "I tend to my garden." And so the lesson of Eli's garden spread throughout the village, reminding everyone that even in the toughest times, joy could be found if only they chose to look for it. Moral of the story: happiness is not the absence of hardship, but the ability to find and create joy, even in the midst of life's challenges. Like a gardener, we must nurture the good, no matter how small, and let it bloom in our hearts.